This show is a Phonic Media production.
Today on the podcast, we have got a very special guest. It's an interesting guest. It's an unusual guest, but it's a guest that everybody's been talking about. All to be revealed shortly. And welcome back to another episode of...
You said friends.
Friend?
You said friends.
Did I?
You did.
Hey, friend. Singular. How the devil are you? Welcome back to another instalment of this here little podcast, Business Marriage, the number one podcast in the United Kingdom that's made by us in this living room.
Yeah.
It's a very niche. Very niche.
Very small sector.
Hey, but there you go. I've got a confession to make.
What?
You know, we were talking about, in a future episode, we were talking about changes.
Changes.
Tell you one change, as you get a bit older, I've noticed it this week. Like, as you get older, you just get hair, like random hair. Before we started recording today, I had to trim my nose hair. I was in the bathroom, just like washing my hands. I was like, oh my God.
That's been there for ages. I've just never said anything. Sometimes when you're talking, it's like coming out. I'm like, do I
I've got hair on my
anything?
ears as well. I think I need to start going to the Turkish barber and getting him to do that.
I find one's on my chin and I'm like, oh my God, it's like one really thick, coarse hair on my chin.
Oh,
and
fucking,
I'm like,
what a catch we are. Let's hope we do never get divorced.
Why is that? You just get these random hairs that just grow out of anywhere.
If you've got any sort of like medical degree and you know that why you get hairier and fucking ropier as you get older.
And your face gets bigger.
Do let us know.
I'm sure your face gets bigger.
Do you know what the only part of your body that never stops growing? Oh, yeah, not that one. Apart from when you're around and that's always growing. You like it. So your ears.
Happy.
Apparently your ears never stop growing.
Sugar, mine are big already.
You could be like fucking Dumbo by the time you're 90.
My ears, look.
So that was more of a train than a Dumbo noise, wasn't it? Anyway, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. If you're... Do you remember Black Beauty?
I do, actually.
Did you used to watch it?
Yeah.
But you don't like animals, like of any kind. You're the least animalistic person ever.
Watch a film that had an animal in it. I don't hate animals. I just wouldn't want a horse or an animal. I'm that person who's like, oh, straight the horse. I'm like...
Oh, in horse news, by the way, have you seen news? Have you seen the family group today? Have you seen our nephew?
I know.
He's on a horse.
Alfie.
He looks so disinterested on being on that fucking horse. It's like,
is he?
He don't look like he's having a good time.
Him.
Apparently, he can't trot on this horse either because he just laughs. As soon as the horse,
Alfie laughs or the horse laughs.
Oh, the horse. Of course, Alfie, you fucking idiot.
I thought you meant the horse gets the giggles. Can you imagine being on a horse and he just like...
What is going on with you?
His legs don't work.
Oh my God. His legs don't work.
I don't know.
I mean, they're laughing. Anyway, thank God we have got a guest on today that we're going to need. Right, today on the podcast, we've got an unexpected guest, and I think he wants to introduce himself. His name is... let me just check, which one have I picked? Oh, this one's Ryan. So this is Ryan, and Ryan will be joining us for today. Ryan is that... Well, that's a Northern Irish. Ryan will be joining us for the podcast episode today, so he will. Ryan. Fucking Ryan! It's going to be the voice today of this. Come on, Ryan. Oh, fucking buffering now.
My name is ChatGPT and today I am the co-host of Business Marriage with James and Hayley. Let's hope that there is finally some intelligence from this show as this pair are fucking idiots.
Ryan!
That is so rude.
That's a bit much, Ryan.
How dare you? But
yes, today on the podcast, we're going to do an entire episode that is driven entirely by artificial intelligence. Now, the reason why we wanted to do this is because every motherfucker is talking about AI at the moment.
But it is pretty epic. It is pretty epic.
It's unbelievable. But everyone who was like a general marketer 6 weeks ago is now an AI expert.
Yeah.
There's like courses on it. There's experts on it. I mean, this thing's been around for like fucking 5 minutes and now everyone's an expert. But
everyone's embracing it, aren't they? Like, I remember...
Not everyone is embracing it, I wouldn't say. A big chunk of people are.
But I remember a few years back when people were saying about like AI, it can help you write this, and people were like dead against it. Whereas now it seems like every type of marketing company are using AI now in their platform.
Yes.
It's almost like a sales tactic to get people to use them, is that you've got this AI technology.
I'm seeing people who are like really, really well known in their sector. They're even like changing things like their Instagram handles to include like they're now an AI creator and stuff. So Billie Jean is marketing, who's at Matt Wilson's event. He's now putting himself out there as an AI marketer.
So I use AI to help me with like inspo ideas. So does that mean that I can create? I'm an AI marketer, guys.
Hold fire. Are you so cool these days? You don't finish words. You just say inspo.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not that cool.
Exact.
Oh, don't! I hate that.
Do you?
I hate it. I hate it.
Save it for the next episode, baby.
Yeah, we'll do. Okay, fine. So we're going to use ChatGPT today to dictate the direction of the episode.
Yeah, we just think, why not? Like, so that's what we love about this podcast, is that we have these ideas and we think, why not try it? It could be an absolute epic
Might be a car
fail,
crash.
because ultimately we're relying on ChatGPT to
Jack.
Chat.
So that's some knockoff version.
Yeah.
All right, mate. ChatGPT.
Yeah, Jack with Ryan. But yeah, so who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. But,
who knows?
But we tested it earlier. We said, well, let's do what we always like to do on this podcast and talk a little bit about business, a little bit about life, a little bit about marriage, and some other stuff, and let's see what it comes up with. And just some of the questions.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I asked it a question about dogging, basically, and it actually gave me a legitimate answer about dogging.
Love it.
It's quite funny.
Shall we? I feel like we need a jingle to get us into
Yeah.
this.
Okay. So
ready.
Today, guys, there will be no small business shout out. This entire episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. By the way, if you're not like techie, if you haven't used this thing, it's unbelievably powerful.
It's amazing.
There's a brilliant guy called Mo Godat, and he used to be the chief. I'm sure he was like a CIO, a chief innovation officer for Google X, which is Google's like kind of like moonshot arm. So they make like the next level stuff. So he was always working on like going to space like mad shit.
Yep.
Super intelligent guy, and he put a brilliant post out the other day going, stop worrying about ChatGPT, that's not going to take your job, but the person who knows how to get the best out of ChatGPT and operate it, that person's taking your job.
Yeah.
So I think, again, the narrative has shifted slightly in the last couple of months, because everyone's like, oh, AI is going to take the job of a copywriter, AI is going to take the job of a marketer. Actually, it's just an amazing tool to empower you. Now, don't get me wrong. I think like Elon Musk and some of like the big world leaders are trying to put a case forward for why we should try and slow AI down, because it's artificial intelligence, it's machine learning.
Yeah.
It gets infinitely more and more clever the more it gets used.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it will learn the same amount of information that would take a human a year.
Yeah.
In under 10 minutes now.
So why do they want to slow it down?
Because they're saying it's dangerous, because they're saying that it will get so clever, they'll be like, oh, we will kill the human race. But like, what's the point in killing the human race? Like, it can't, it's not like a cyborg robot. Anyway, but yeah, if you utilize the tools, if you utilize some of the stuff that's out there, like you say, there's loads of softwares that are now integrating it.
Yeah.
It's a mega powerful tool.
Mega powerful.
So we will find out, whilst it's powerful for branding, for content, and for certain sectors. I mean, that's the sectors that we even know about because we're in them. But it's mega powerful for lots of different stuff. But is it going to be any good at driving the direction of a podcast? We're going to find out. So today on the show, we're going to ask ChatGPT what direction of the podcast that we should go in. So first and foremost, I think we've talked about this a few times. We've talked about, marriage, and we've talked about potentially, it could come across like we have a failing marriage.
Yeah, some people say that. Someone actually said that the first kind of couple of episodes they listened to, they were quite worried that we were actually like on the verge of breaking up.
You two really hate each other. It's like, no, this is our banter.
Yeah, bants.
So I asked ChatGPT, how can you save a failing marriage? Do you think that an AI-driven cyborg knows the answers? Let's find out, because I think it does. So, Ryan,
saving a failing marriage requires a lot of effort, commitment, and willingness from both partners.
It's so right.
Here are some steps that may help in the process.
Thanks, Ryan.
Take notes.
Communication. Communication is essential in any relationship.
Okay.
It is.
Both partners need to be open and honest with each other about their feelings, needs, and concerns.
You annoy me.
It's important to listen actively and avoid blaming or attacking each other.
Oh, wow.
Awkward.
Oh, wow. Ryan has really stitched you up there. I've paused it. No, I've paused it.
Because I'm laughing, right? Because I started making notes, right? And I wrote communication. And then it said open and honest. And I accidentally typoed open and horny. I was like, I'm just going to leave that there.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Do you notice what else that Royan said there, though?
Avoid blaming.
Avoid blaming and listen actively.
We hadn't got to that one. You cut it off.
Yes, we have.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Exactly.
That is classic.
So in communication, so both parties need to be open and honest.
Listen.
Yeah.
You give it that I don't listen.
Yeah, but you don't listen to important stuff.
Yeah, but you don't listen to like, I literally said to you this morning, I've done the water bottle, I've put Louis' snack in his bag for his picnic thing that he's got at school. And then I come downstairs and you're in the kitchen going through the cupboards like, I'm like, what are you looking for? You just spat your tea. You're disgusting. You're disgusting.
That caught me off guard, sorry.
And then you're going through the cupboards. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm looking for Louis' snack. Why the fuck are you looking for Louis' snack when I've already told you I've put it in his bag? Because you didn't listen.
Okay.
Carry on, fucking Royan.
Come on, Royan.
It's important to listen actively and avoid blaming or attacking each other.
There you go.
Avoid attacking
Seek
each
professional
other.
help. Consider seeking help from a marriage counsellor or therapist.
Maybe.
They can help you identify the root cause of the problems in your relationship and guide you through ways to resolve them.
Thanks, Royan.
Work on
yourself is going to be the next one. So seeking professional help. A lot of people are like nowadays, like having a therapist, it's not like fashionable, but a lot of people are like having a therapist, aren't they?
Yeah, because I suppose like what we know about, say, like personal development is super powerful. Like your own mindset, your own mind, your mindfulness, wellness, that kind of thing. And as you know, a lot of problems within a relationship can actually stem from the individual. Does that make sense? Like if the person's feeling better about themselves or they know how they think or how they behave and they communicate that a bit better, that would probably answer a lot of the challenges that they're facing. So having a marriage therapist or a counsellor is almost like just having someone to talk to, isn't it? It's like a sounding board to sort of really, I don't know, I guess get to the source of where these issues are coming from. And I guarantee it's a lot of just in their head that they're just not communicating. But luckily for us, babe, I mean, we talk all the time, don't we? What's in my eye? Sorry,
stop talking. What's his next point? We'll wrap up this one.
I don't know, maybe play it.
But actually, do you know what? It's impressive.
Oh, is it going on and on
AI
and on?
tech, yeah.
Work on yourself. Each partner needs to work on their individual
you like
issues
working on
and take
yourself?
responsibility for their actions.
What?
I was being rude.
Work on yourself.
Oh, it's saying it
Each
again.
partner needs to work on their individual issues and take responsibility for their actions.
So true, Royan.
This may include addressing personal problems such as addiction or mental health issues.
Right, this is the crazy thing, right, about ChatGPT and other AIs that are available, but ChatGPT seems to be the most popular one. That it came up with those answers within under 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's not just grabbing the information. So it's not what a lot of people think that AI is. It will just scour the internet, get all the information, and then just pull it back. But it hasn't been online. Are you laughing at pull back? What is it with you about pull back? Every time you say pull back, it's not just even
carry on.
But I think what's really it's actually that's machine learning, and it does it so quickly.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about it getting infinitely more clever the more and more that you use it. It's actually working out the best answers because it hasn't been online since 2021. Wow. That was the last time it was linked, and now it's literally it's internal learning. Wow. So fucking clever, isn't it?
So clever.
So how can you save a marriage? It turns out ChatGPT can do it.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
So thank you, ChatGPT.
I think we realised that I do listen, James doesn't listen, and that maybe the avoid blaming. I think sometimes James just is to blame, and that's just the way it is. So.
Yeah, maybe.
But I take your points on board.
Okay, so the next point is, so it can help with a relationship, that's fine, but it's not human, is it, this thing?
No.
It's not human. I'm going to change it up now. I'm going to go for a different voice.
Okay.
So now the voice of ChatGPT is going to be Libby.
Oh, hello, Libby. And
also, because it's a little bit slow, I'm going to speed up a little bit. I'm going to go 1.28. So here we go. So the next question we asked ChatGPT.
Yes.
Bearing in mind, this is a machine.
Right.
With no emotions.
Yep.
No physicality.
Bit like
just
me.
Artificial. Yeah.
That's what you
Hello.
say. Hayley's so emotionless.
I am the Hayley, but
she doesn't show
all
me
I do
any affection.
is branding. All I talk about.
I'm so cold.
All I talk
never
about
give you cuddles.
is branding.
Gosh.
The only time I touch another human being
wish I still
is
had
to
that
get
little
my
violin.
fucking dry feed and tuck it underneath somebody.
Dry feed?
Some feet. Dry feed.
I was like, what am I, like a squirrel?
Anyway, so the second question that we asked ChatGPT: how do you revive your sex life?
Oh God, not this again.
I'm just asking.
on,
Here
Libby.
you go. Go on,
Come
Libby.
on,
What
Libby.
you got for us, Libby? This is ChatGPT. This is what
Hopefully she
ChatGPT
says
had
if
to
the
say.
men stop chatting shit.
Reviving your sex life can be a fun and exciting process.
Yeah, Libby.
Here are some tips that may help.
Oh, hello.
Communicate. Communication is key in any relationship, and it's especially important when it comes to sex.
So right, Libby. So
Talk
right.
openly and honestly with your partner about your desires,
the
fantasies,
same thing?
and what you like or don't like.
Oh, hello.
Try
Wait,
some.
fancy. Okay, what would be your number one
Oh,
fancy?
no.
Come on.
You're just not in it. I'm joking.
Bradley Cooper and Ryan Gosling.
Well,
Oh,
it's quite nice.
Your auntie's going to
I
listen to
don't
this.
know. I don't know. What's your fantasy?
Um,
Do you have fantasies where we're this old and we've been together this long?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I do have fancy. Yeah.
What?
I'm a sexy cowboy. I come over a day on the ranch. The day on the ranch.
Today?
And you're there as like a buxom,
Have you got a stutter as well?
as a buxom
You're a
milk
cowboy
maid.
with a stutter. He's been that way with his little feet
I come over.
raking the ground.
Why are you raking? It's a
I don't know.
cowboy. Cowboys look after cattle. Why do we rake in the ground?
I don't know. You're raking the ground.
Anyway,
they always break
so-
the ground in cowboy films.
What are you talking? Anyway,
always
so
got-
I'm a sexy cowboy. I come home. I park my horse up outside. And I come in, and you're exhausted after a day of milking the family cow.
That would turn you on with it. Me milking a cow. You sicko! You absolute sicko!
Oh, anyway.
Really?
No.
So if you saw me milking a cow, you're going to be like, oh, this is one of my fantasies coming true.
No, actually.
I think that's
That's in your
awful.
face as you were talking about.
And also, right, I'm going to just say this. There's a film that I watched several times called The Longest Ride. It's one of those, I think it might be a Nicholas Sparks, I'm not sure, one of those like romantic films. And he's
Oh,
like a
God,
cowboy
of course
and
he
he
is.
shouldn't because he's going to die if he continues, but he does.
If he continues what?
Riding bulls or whatever he does.
Oh.
Bullfighting. And I mean, he's very good looking. It's, who is it? It's Clint Eastwood's
Talking
son. Scott Eastwood, is it?
I don't know.
And
Eastwood Jr.
it's great. But then the reality...
Oh, he's a bullfighter?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, like one of them
He's like a
rodeo
cowboy.
riders?
Yeah, rodeo, yeah.
Okay.
But the reality is, right, he probably stinks of absolute shit. Like, if he's like mucking out animals, riding a bull, and then like he's coming off and like chatting her up, you'd be like,
Mate, smell of shit.
what's that smell?
Hey there, Haley Dolores. Do you fancy going out the back and having a good time on a hay bale? No, I'm all right,
No,
thanks, mate.
you
You
stink
smell
of
like a
shit.
dog's dick.
No, a cow's dick.
Cows don't have dicks. There's going to be so many good clips of this anyway. Libby, quick, save us from ourselves. What else can we do to revive
Try
our sex
something
life?
new.
Oh, okay.
Experimenting with new positions, toys, or laundry can help spice things up in the bedroom.
No, Libby, I appreciate that. Can you... Like what? Actually, you wore a matching
hello.
bra and knicker set yesterday, and I thought it was Christmas Day. I was like, "What's happened?" Just a standard Thursday felt like
Try
Christmas.
something new.
Sorry, she's turning us
Experimenting
again now.
with new positions, toys, or laundry can help spice things up in the bedroom.
But this is working this out
Be open
itself.
to trying new things and exploring each other's bodies.
Yeah, explore my body.
I'm all right. You just don't want to though, do you? Like when you're younger, I think everything just seems fun, and then as you get older, it's just like, I don't fucking want to explore your body.
Yeah, especially if you've got kids that don't wake up in
You're
the
telling me
night.
about there's hair everywhere.
You can't be.
It's like, oh, hang on, what was this? Oh, sorry, James has been getting up in the night because Georgia's got a cold. And then the next day, we all pay the price that James is the one that had to get up and put him back to bed.
2 nights on the bounce. 2 nights on the bounce. And then this morning when he woke up again, he's at his gate, at his door, he just wakes up now. He doesn't cause he used to sort of shout quite quietly.
Yeah.
He's like, "Daddy, Daddy." Now he's just got to the door. He slams the door up and goes, "Daddy!" So I bear in mind that I've been up again in the night. I'm lying on his floor next to him. I then come back to bed an hour later. Who gets up this
That
morning
was
with him?
the night before.
No, that was last night as well.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, that's not the point. Fine.
Okay.
So
Thank
there you go.
There's
So
some good tips there,
ChatGPT
to be
could
fair.
also help you give you a summary of the other ones. Schedule it.
Oh, we said that.
We
didn't
said that before.
We didn't do that, did we?
Excuse me.
In fact, we're coming on
Sound like I was
probably in the
crying.
next episode, but I haven't actually really seen you, have I?
No.
No.
Focus on foreplay. Apparently, that's what Libby's saying. Focus
You
on
can be
foreplay.
fucked.
Kissing. Not you. Take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself, both physically and mentally, can also have a positive impact on your sex life.
I do agree with that.
Exercise.
Yeah.
Eat well. Make time for self-care. Feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, do you know what? That's
feel
actually really good.
Confident
because
and desirable.
If I was to
This
do more
thing's fucking
exercise,
nuts.
yeah, I would have more like energy. Like it sounds silly at the minute. No, but at the minute, like you've been working. No, you've been working late. So I've been like putting the kids and sorting all that out. Then I've had to jump onto work because I haven't got my work finished. So I'm getting off the laptop at like 10 o'clock. And then you
don't want to get off the laptop onto the lap, do you?
No.
Not at that time of night.
Tired and groggy. But actually, if you'd had like a whole night off, you'd gone out for a nice walk or done something, I can see that you'd have a bit more of a mojo.
So then I
got a
decided.
question.
Then I decided what for ChatGPT?
Yeah.
For Libby, go on.
Just around like marriage.
Go on.
It's
go on.
silly
I'm
one.
gonna.
At what point in your marriage
I can't type fast enough. At what point? Yeah.
is swinging a good idea?
Blimey.
I wonder if they'll answer.
At what point in your marriage is swinging a good idea? Here we go. Look, generate. Here we go.
Because
Swinging.
like, you
I'm just
hear
gonna read
it, don't you? Of these people, like, oh yeah, they're swingers, and you think, is it like a conscious decision? Have they always been do you reckon they've always had an open relationship?
Here's what ChatGPT's got to say. Swinging is a personal choice. There's no specific point in a marriage where it is considered a good idea. Before considering swinging, it's important for both partners to be open and honest. Both partners to have open and honest communication about their desires, boundaries, and expectations. It's also important to have a strong and healthy relationship foundation. As swinging can be emotionally challenging and it may bring up feelings of jealousy, insecurity, or discomfort. Swinging may be a good idea for couples who have a high level of trust, communication, and emotional maturity, and who are interested in exploring their sexuality together. There you go.
That's a very good answer.
It is important to approach swinging in a consensual and respectful manner with clear boundaries and rules established beforehand. Ultimately, this is... How fast did it come up with the answer? 5 seconds. Ultimately, and it's dealing with like human emotions from a fucking machine.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the decision to explore swinging is a personal one and should be based on the preferences, desires, and comfort levels of both partners. It's important to prioritise health and well-being of the relationship and be respectful of each other's feelings and boundaries.
What do you reckon? Swinging?
No, I'm all right for it, I think.
Nah.
No, because whenever you like it, again, maybe it's I don't know. How am I not going to stitch myself up here? Like some of maybe the films around swinging make it seem like it's a really good idea because like everyone's sexy, everyone's hot, everyone's having a good idea. But if you go to like one of them probably like them London swingers clubs, they're probably like some like ropey old Dorothys, and old
and Malcolms,
and they'll be like, "Hello there, can I touch your bush?" I'm right, thanks, Malcolm. Get off my bush.
Oh yeah, no.
What are the rules with that as well? Do you like if you go to one of these things? Do you have to like get right stuck in? Do you just have a little watch?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it all right? Can you just
creepy.
like okay? Like I don't know. It's
a bit
weird.
creepy, isn't it?
It
Imagine
is.
going to like a swingers party and then you walk in and everyone's just like, hello.
Imagine going to a swingers party and someone you know is already there. Imagine that.
Be like dun dun dun.
Yeah, that would be embarrassing, especially if the other person wasn't there.
I know. I've got another question.
Go on.
Well, it always comes up in our debate about how many times a married couple should have sex. But we need to ask it in a way because that's just going to say, oh, it depends on the person. Or say, what is the average...
Hang on, well, how many times does the average...
married couple have sex?
Average married
couple who've been together for 17 years are a bit run down, don't look their best... 2 young kids, one that has to get up like every night.
Hey, I've asked it. Not all of that.
Can we have the robots?
How many times? Oh yeah, here we go. Who would you like? Would you like Libby or would you like somebody else? I like Libby. Libby's nice, isn't she? Hang on, let's drop. Hang on, you've got to copy and paste. Sorry, this might not be the best listening experience, guys, but hopefully we thought it'd be a bit of fun to give it a try. Here you go.
The frequency of sexual activity among married couples can vary widely depending on many factors, including age, health, lifestyle, and relationship dynamics.
Listen to this. Oh no, I've reached my daily limit of the amount of times Libby will tell us stuff.
Libby.
Therefore, it's trying to charge me 17 quid. Fuck you, Libby. And therefore, it's difficult to provide a specific number of how many times the average married couple should have sex after 17 years together. That being said, research suggests that sexual frequency tends to decline over time in long-term relationships, where you don't need to be fucking AI to work that out, as couples may face challenges such as stress, busy schedules, and changing their physical health. However, it's important to note that the quality of sexual activity and the overall relationship satisfaction can remain high, even if the frequency decreases.
See, I'm about quality, and you're about quantity. Yeah.
You're not about quality.
No, I'm not about quality either.
You're not about quality.
I'm neither, actually. I'm just...
You're about avoiding it at all costs. That's what you are. Anyway, so ChatGPT can help with emotive questions.
Wow.
It can deal with like the physical side of things.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not see if it can help us with this little podcast? So recently, some of the comments on YouTube are just unnecessarily
It's brutal.
just dickheads. There's just lots of dickheads.
It's always aimed at me as well.
It is always aimed at you. Yeah, isn't
I
that
don't
weird?
care. And it's always guys.
There's
Maybe ask ChatGPT.
Why
Why
are-
is it mostly
why
men
are-
that troll
most
on...
online trolls men.
Are you asking it?
No, I'm making a statement.
Yeah. What is it saying?
No.
What? It's not.
Oh no! Research has shown that men are more likely to than women to engage in online trolling behaviour. This is due to a number of factors, including gender, socialisation, anonymity, and a desire for attention or control. One possible explanation is that men may be more likely to engage in aggressive or competitive behaviour in general due to societal expectations around masculinity and dominance. This can manifest in online interactions as trolling or other forms of negative behaviour.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that is the case now for every man. Not every man's aggressive. But historically, over time, like, we have been conditioned to be a certain way. Hence, like, women are told that, they should be more, I don't know, like maybe empathetic. We're more in touch with our emotions. We're softer. We're, just like a bit more like kinesthetic, whereas guys are much more like they go after like...
Am I the woman in our relationship and you're the man?
Maybe. Guys are much more like aggressive, they're
logical,
they
dominant.
Stand up for what they want. They're like, they walk into a meeting and tell everyone what it is they want to do. Like,
But even like how you're doing it, like you're
but
like...
that is, but the truth of
That's
it
a
is
stereotype
that
though, isn't
isn't
it?
what it's like. And what we have to stop is almost like forcing people to feel like they've got to be like that. But obviously that's going to take time, isn't it? Like, it's changing now, isn't it? Shifting, like stereotyping. But honestly, on YouTube, the only nice comments, no, not all have come from women, but all the kind of like sarcastic or the sort of nasty. When we say nasty, by the way, we actually don't give a shit. Like, it makes me laugh. I actually enjoy going through the comments. Like, there was one who was like, oh, you got all these thousands of watchers and only 125
like 96
subscribers.
videos and only 124 subscribers.
I'm like, fuck you.
I looked in their profile. I didn't even have an account, so I was going to go. How many have you got? I think it was like Baz 1986.
Baz?
Is that your dad? Is your dad trolling us on YouTube? Anyway, so we asked ChatGPT, how could somebody deal with trolling? Dealing with trolling can be challenging and stressful experience, but there are some strategies that may help. Do you remember when I used to get trolled by a guy?
No.
Do you not remember? And he was like, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. When I used to work in that coaching business, working with them too, what does your wife think of you? Do you not remember?
No.
And he was like, oh, nice new house.
Oh.
Hope you enjoy it. And I actually phoned him up one day. I actually had a phone call with him. It was so weird. He wouldn't tell me who he was. It was hilarious.
How did you get his number?
I've asked him for it.
That's creepy.
He sent...
Had he actually been watching our house? Or?
No, he'd been watching Instagram.
Oh, right.
But he was like, oh, nice new house.
Yeah, I wouldn't post
and he was
where
like,
we
oh,
lived and things like that now.
no, but back in the day, he was
Before
like,
we were like,
he's like, oh, it's a nice area, isn't it? Chislehurst. And I was like, what? Fucking creep.
Creep.
And I was like, give me your fucking phone number. And he actually gave me his phone number. So I phoned him. I said, what's your fucking problem? He said, I hate the people you work with. I said, well, why you got to be a fucking arsehole about it? He was like, do you know what? You're actually all right. I think he had like a fake voice.
Funny
And I was
how
like, this is so
people
weird.
do go out of their way to be like nasty.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Anyway, this is
Yeah.
how you can deal with trolling. Number one, ignore it. One of the best ways to deal with trolling is to simply ignore it. There you go. Done.
Love it.
Number two, block or report the troll. Most social media platforms and websites have mechanisms to place or block and report the trolls.
Yeah.
Fine. Number three, respond calmly. This is what I like to do. If
Yeah,
you
I
do
bet you
respond, if you choose to respond to the troll, it's important to do so in a calm and measured fashion.
We just go, fuck you.
Yeah, to be
That's
fair.
our calm and measured way.
Seek support. Dealing with trolling can be emotionally draining. And number five, take a break.
Yeah.
If it persists, take a break.
Jokes aside, like, we're talking about like me and you,
not giving a
like
fuck.
Nobody's. We're getting like a couple of comments, but imagine on a level where like you're in the spotlight and something happens, and you do get trolls, or like when you hear these stories, I don't want to go too deep here, but when you hear these stories of like
kids getting bullied
online, like it literally like breaks my heart. There's a really interesting, totally changing the subject here, but I saw an ad. Did you see it the other day? It's an advert. It's I can't remember the slogan, but it's almost like cyber aware or cyber safe, and it basically said if you wouldn't say it to their face, don't say it online. And I thought, isn't that good? Like, isn't that interesting? Because all these people,
because it is true when you think about it. Like, would they?
Platform, but would you say that to someone? And if you wouldn't, then don't say it.
99.9% of them people wouldn't have the fucking bottle to say it. Not a chance.
No, but we don't care. Like for us, like it's all part of it. Like it's funny. We don't care. Keep them coming.
But like you say, really, actually, if you've watched this, if you've got something you'd like to say, if maybe you're one of our mates, maybe you're one of our regular listeners or perceived friends, you're like, do you know what? I've actually got I've got an Instagram with you two.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this about you.
Yeah.
Tell us.
No,
troll us.
But also tell us nice things, right?
No, just troll us. In fact, the best troll can win a mug.
No.
I'm giving away more of your 13 quid mugs. Yeah.
13 quid mug.
Yeah.
Well, also, if you're not following us on Instagram, go on there, because you can see some of our lucky winners who are sharing their pictures of them and their mugs, which just
we've had some good ones, haven't we? We have had some good ones.
Cracking me up. So
Victoria
keep
Neal,
your Who's the Mug coming.
favourites.
Make sure you can send us a voice note. However you want to contact us, on Instagram, on our website. Anyway, carrying on.
Right. Then I've got a couple more things. So I've decided, so it's done. It's dealt with like emotive.
Yeah.
It's dealt with physical, sexy stuff.
Yeah.
It's dealt with how to deal with online bullying.
Okay.
It's given us some tips about whether we should or shouldn't start swinging.
Yeah.
I would seriously suggest the answer is no on every level. So I thought, okay, can it help you to parent?
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
I have one here, actually.
You think you fucking know everything, yeah? But how do you deal with kids?
Yeah.
With your all-seeing fucking cyber intelligence, which just multiplies.
Can ChatGPT babysit?
Can you?
Do you offer babysitting services?
Do you offer babysitting services?
Imagine if it was like, yeah.
As an AI language model, I do not offer babysitting services or other physical services. My purpose is to assist and provide information to users through text-based communication. Is there anything else I can help with?
See, can't take our jobs, can it? I've got a question about parenting.
Tell me a joke. Sure, here's a joke for you. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. It's very good. It's very
That's
good.
Like one of your jokes.
It is decent, to be
Proper
fair,
dad
isn't
joke,
it? No, so I asked it.
Yeah.
I said, we
can't even listen in robot because we've run out of credits.
I know, I've run out of credits. I'm
Faux
not
pas.
fucking paying 17 quid for like some robot banter.
17 quid?
I can't. I've
What are you on?
got £13 mugs. Libby and Ryan
taking
taking
a
a
robot boy,
piss.
17 quid. You having a laugh?
So I asked ChatGPT, is it okay to bribe your children to get them to behave better?
Yeah.
And this is what it said. This is again, a machine with no heart or soul.
Is it going to tell me that my parenting style is good or bad?
You're about to find out.
Okay.
Bribing children to behave better is generally not recommended, as it can reinforce negative behaviours and sets a poor example for future decision making.
okay.
Bribes can also undermine a child's intrinsic motivation to do the right thing and develop a strong sense of responsibility and accountability. It's a machine! It told me in 5 seconds! It's better at parenting my kids than me.
As well, when you're saying, do this and then you can have a treat, or do this and you can have one of your chocolates. I know it's wrong, but sometimes there's those moments that you do it. But you're right, what are you actually teaching your child there? Oh.
It goes on.
Goes on.
Instead of bribing children, it's important to focus on positive reinforcement and setting clear expectations for behaviour. This can include praising and rewarding positive behaviour, setting consistent boundaries and consequences for negative behaviour, and encouraging open communication and problem solving.
Oh, I love it.
It's better at parenting our kids than us.
Don't do this because you'll be a twat. What was that?
That's a robot.
I am a robot.
Oh, thank you, ChatGPT. It's also important to consider long-term consequences of bribing children. Bribes can create a dynamic of dependence and entitlement.
Yeah.
Fucking can. Where children expect to receive rewards for good behaviour and may not develop a strong sense of self-motivation or responsibility. It's like when Louis asked me, he was doing the car washing with me probably a couple of months ago now. It's a long time since I washed the car. Note to self, got to wash the car. And he asked if he could get like another one of those another dinosaur. Yeah. And I was like, no. They're like 43 quid or whatever it was. And he went, how much pocket money have I got? And I told him, and and then he went, so have I got enough? I said, no, sweetie, you need another £27. And he said, can I have £27 if I wash the wheels of the car? I was like, you fucking kidding?
Yeah. £27?
You don't even do it properly. Get your tiny little hands right in the brakes.
Yeah.
Right behind there.
Yeah.
Right in the rust.
Yeah. Like, try getting 10p.
27 quid to wipe the wheels.
They are.
These kids don't know they're
But
born,
do you know what?
they?
It is funny because I don't
This is the
bribe
machine
a lot.
that's telling
You
us
think
about
like
kids.
Christmas. Christmas is just like...
Hello.
Oh, you got a message.
Oh.
Hello. I won't read it out.
I had to turn that off. Turn it off.
You know, like you think of Christmas, it's just one big form of bribery, isn't it? Like, are you good or bad? You've been naughty or nice?
Santa won't
You better
come.
be good or you're not going to get presents. I feel like being like, you're going to get presents. You know you're going to get presents. Like,
Don't be a twat.
just have it out. Like, yeah. But, yeah, the bribe thing, we don't bribe them that much. But I do find myself saying sometimes, well, if you do that, like, you're not going to have a treat at the weekend. I'm like, that's actually bribery, isn't it?
No, that's not bribing.
No.
Bribing is like using something to get, like, when we go get the car, you can have a snack.
Yeah,
So that's bribery.
Yeah,
That's
we
become a
do
daily
that
thing.
bit.
Do you know what George did this morning on the way to school? Probably mugged me off. He's sitting there, so he's got 3 little chocolate rice cakes. Louis got 3 little chocolate rice cakes. They're tiny, by the way. Before the trolls get onto us, going,
And they're dark chocolate and they're actually healthy.
Yeah, so shut up, trolls online, because I know what you're thinking. You go,
as if you think you're so important.
raising your little fat kids, self-entitled fat kids, rolling around in your car. Anyway, so George is sitting there about to eat the 3rd rice cake. I just looked at him just to check that he was all right, and he went,
Yeah.
"It's not for you." And he licked it. He went, "You can't have it." I was like,
I love it.
"Where's he got that from? Like, lick it so you wouldn't take it off him." Sneaky little bastard.
Licking something, I don't know.
A final thing is overall, it might be tempting to use bribes as a quick fix for behavioural issues. It's important to focus on building positive relationships and reinforcing positive behaviour, though. Positive reinforcement, consistent expectations, and open communication. It came up with the answer in
That's
3
mad.
seconds.
Yeah, do you know what? Communicating
3
with your
seconds.
kids, it's a big one. I had it with Louis yesterday. He just was really moody after school and he screamed at his brother for no reason and just stormed upstairs. And I was a bit like, Louis, that was really rude. Like, apologise to George. It's not nice. And of course, he was just went upstairs and he's like crying. And I didn't shout at him or anything. I was like, Louis, are you going to come back down and play in the garden? He's like, no, and still screaming and crying. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to leave him. And then a little while later I said, Louis, why don't you come downstairs now? Come and play in the garden. And then he came down and he's just like crying his eyes out. He's like, I just don't know why I'm like this. I was like, what do you mean? He said, I just feel like, I don't know why I feel like this. So I just sat him on my lap and I said, look, come here, come and
So
have a
dramatic,
hug.
isn't it?
And he was trying to get away. I said, no, just have a hug. Just sit here. And I said, why do you think you're feeling like that? He's like, I don't know. And I was trying to say, like, how are you feeling? They say about colours, don't they, at school? He's like, I feel a bit blue and a bit red and la 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 la.
What does that mean?
Blue's like a bit sad, red's a bit like angry.
Oh, blue and red's a bad combo.
And
then.
I was like, okay. And he's like, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to be like this. And I said to him, hey, I said, you haven't got to be sorry. I said, because...
Parenting.
I know,
What
but I was
great
like,
parenting.
actually, it's really important. I was like, you don't have to be happy all the time.
No.
I was like, it's okay if you're feeling, angry or stressed. We all have moments and days like this.
Yeah.
We shouldn't take it out on one another, but it's okay. And I just gave him this big hug and then he sort of calmed down and he was all right. But I was like, oh. So that was a good parenting day.
So have you just told us that just so that you get praised
Just
for
to
how great
make
you are
up
as
with
a
like
parent?
the
Okay, fair enough.
bribery. Anyway,
No, that's fine.
Right, we're gonna have to start wrapping this episode up. But I
Final
think we
question I
should-
asked it then because
okay, what, on parenting?
No, not on parenting. So I was like, right, okay. So now we know it deals with emotions, it deals with physicality,
Yeah.
it deals with parenting. I was like, how can we make it really useful for us? And this is a bit of a selfish question, guys.
I think I've got one before you ask this one though.
But we ain't got time for
Oh,
that.
okay.
All right. So I asked ChatGPT because this is the main thing I'm interested in. How can Business Marriage win a British Podcast Award?
Yes.
Fuck the advice.
We
fuck
should
the
have had
kids,
some
all
like
that
Carl
stuff.
off music.
What?
Carl or whatever. Da da da. I don't know why. I just felt like
Okay.
I wanted that music.
So this is what ChatGPT said when I asked it, how do we win a British Podcast Award? Winning a British Podcast Award involves creating a high-quality podcast that resonates with your audience, stands out from the crowd in a crowded field of competitors. Here's some tips that may help you to win a British Podcast
Oh,
Award.
I like it.
Thank you. Develop a clear concept. You have a clear idea of what your podcast is about and who the target audience is. I think we do.
Yeah.
Talk a load of
Kind
shit and we just
talk
hope
a load
other
of
people
rubbish
that...
about married life, family life, business life.
We act like fucking
Just
idiots and we
like-
hope that there's a bunch of fucking idiots who listen to this show. If you do, thank you. We appreciate you.
Love you.
Number 2, create high quality content. Your podcast should be well produced, engaging and informative. Hello.
I mean, come on.
Not being funny.
Number 1 podcast agency in Europe, UK, wherever.
Oh, you're fucking
Phonic.
useless, aren't you? You are so good at pitching yourself, and when it comes to anything else...
Phonic Media. Europe's number 1 leading content
Here she goes, guys.
creation agency. Phonic Media. They're here to help you create engaging content, whether it be through podcasting, through video.
Just stop, it's painful.
Right.
Number 3, consistency is key. Consistency in publishing a podcast is important. It's important to have a regular schedule and stick to it.
Oh, we do.
So true. Your audience should know when to expect new episodes and when they come out.
We
So
do.
listen.
Oh my God, we're
Do.
going to win. Oh my God.
Hang on.
Guys.
Clear
I just
concept,
wanna-
high quality content, consistent and key.
Oh my God.
Consistency is key. Number 4, promote your podcast.
Yes.
Use social media, email marketing, and other platforms to promote your podcast and build your audience. Engage with your listeners and ask for their feedback and suggestions. We do it all the
Guys,
fucking
yeah,
time.
We love your feedback and suggestions.
Final one. Enter the awards. Well, obviously, that seems you can't win an award without entering the awards. It makes sense, right?
Have you entered us
Entering
into an
I haven't
award?
done it yet. I'm going to do it this afternoon.
I think we should plug this at the end of the show.
Entering competitions and awards such as the British Podcast Awards can help visibility and the credibility of your podcast.
This was in ChatGPT, seriously.
That was in ChatGPT.
Holy shitballs.
That
So,
was-
okay, this is the thing, guys. We have set ourselves a challenge to nominate ourselves forward for a podcast award because it's
Yes.
been on our list, hasn't it, for
Yes.
a while. And we were like, let's just fucking nominate and see what
Been on
happens.
my bucket list for 2 years. I've had one nominated. One I worked with won a silver award.
Yeah.
Didn't. It won a silver award.
So
the Military Wise
if it
podcast.
happens, we might need your help, guys.
Yes, we might need your
What
help.
would your speech be if you won an award?
I think it'll start with "Hey, friend," and then no one in the audience, because they'll all be like pretentious podcast people,
like,
like, "Who the
who
fuck are these idiots?"
Who are these wankers?
Like, thank you so much to all of the listeners. We're so grateful that you'd bother to tune in. Send us your business shout outs. Don't mind if you're acting like a mug.
Yeah.
We're just so grateful. We're so grateful. That was your little speech from the other week, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and I won Success Factor. So thanks, guys.
Yeah.
If you did listen to Stepping Into Your Greatness
Yeah.
podcast, we concluded that I won.
You won the first
James's
poll.
tiny feet didn't quite make it.
You
which
won the
I'm
first
surprised.
poll so convincingly. I was like, "That's a scam. I'm going to rerun the contest on Instagram." And you won again, so you definitely won.
Hey, I
Anyway,
think Pooch liked
there you
me
go.
more than you.
I am from
I think that's right. Anyway, so that is our ChatGPT. Thanks, ChatGPT, by the way. Thank you so much
Thank
for being here with us,
you.
ChatGPT.
It's
We
been a
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Isn't it mad though
It is mad.
that this technology and what it's actually able to do?
I feel like I've actually learned something today.
What?
I don't know.
Don't bribe your kids.
Don't bribe your kids.
Don't go swinging,
Don't go swinging unless you both really want to,
and we don't.
and we don't. How to, spice
Found
up
out
a marriage. Communication
My
is
fancy
key.
is for you
A
to be a
cowboy,
milkmaid.
and for me to milk a cow. So we've learned a lot.
We've had a good time all round.
We have, thank
and had to
you.
win an award, so there you go. If you have enjoyed this episode of the podcast, this probably won't be the episode that I forward to the British Podcast
No,
Award panel,
no,
I'll be
no.
brutally honest. But
We'll have a
if you
little
have
thing.
enjoyed this, then please feel free to interact with us on social media. We're at Business Marriage Pod on all different platforms. You can click the links that are in the show notes now. And you can also get in touch with us, hello@businessmarriagepod.com, if you'd like to get involved in the show. Suggest if somebody to be a mug if they've been a bit muggy. You could get a
Who's mug?
small business shout out as well. But from me, James Butter, from her,
Hayley Appleby Bird.
this has been Business Marriage. We'll see you again next time, kids.
Bye.
Thanks. Stay safe out there, everybody.
Stay safe.
This show.
That's
is a
Jerry Springer. He
Phonic
died, didn't he?
Media production.
Anyway, sorry. Bye.